Good morning, friends. Welcome to school today. Today, we're going to be talking about characters, setting, and events in reading. We've already spent 2 weeks reading lots and lots of books, both during reading time and social studies. So, we need to think about what happens in our stories that we've been reading. Well, the first thing we want to think about are characters. And characters are the people, animals, or creatures in the story. I'm going to share my slide deck with you to look at, and you will see some people that you'll recognize or some animals you'll recognize, like Pete the cat, Clifford the big red dog, the caterpillar from The Big Hungry Caterpillar, and Fancy Nancy from Her Stories. Well, remember that stories are made up of people. So, for example, we recently read Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, and Molly Lou Mellon was the main character. That's who the story was mostly about. Now, there were some other characters who weren't quite as important. There was Louis, the kid who always was mean and bullying Molly Lou, but in the end, they became friends. There's also a little part about her grandma, even though we never meet her grandma. Her grandma tells Molly Lou something in the story. But the main character is Molly Lou Mellon. So when you're reading your stories, you want to be thinking about, who is this about? How are they feeling? What are they doing? One of the other things you want to think about is the setting. The setting is where the story takes place. Now, sometimes the story might take place in the forest, or on a farm, or in our playground right at school. Maybe it takes place in a castle. But the setting can be absolutely anywhere, and sometimes the setting changes. For example, in Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, the story mostly takes place at school. So if I asked you what the setting for Molly Lou Mellon was, or I'm sorry, for Stand Tall Molly Lou Mellon, you would probably say the school. If I asked you Pete the cat in my white shoes, you would probably say outside, right? If it was Clifford the big red dog, if you're familiar with that story, you're going to talk about the island that he lives on with Emily. So stories have a setting, and the setting is where it takes place. So we've talked about characters, who is the story about, and we've talked about setting, where does the story take place. There's one more thing that when we're reading stories you need to be thinking about, and that is what's happening in the story. Those are called events, and events are just the things that happen to the characters in the story. So for example, in Molly Lou Mellon, one of the main events is that her grandma tells her to stand tall. No matter what, stand tall and be proud, right? Well, in this story, a lot of times she comes up against Louis. And Louis is not nice about anything to Molly Lou. And so Molly Lou kind of teaches him a little something. She teaches him that she's good at stuff. And the funny thing is, Molly Lou, she's still nice to him. But for example, one of the events in the story is when she races Louis and she wins. One of the things in the story was about, I believe they were shooting hoops and playing basketball, and Molly Lou gets the ball in the basketball in the hoop. So those are events in the story. The last event in this story is about when he talks to Molly Lou and they want to be friends. So those are the things that happen in the story. Those are the events. So we have the who, the characters. We have the where, that's the setting. And then we have the events in the story. Sometimes in a story, there's a big problem. and that the whole story is kind of about that problem and resolving it, getting it figured out throughout the story. And usually by the end, we figured it out. And we will read lots of those stories this year. So I'm going to share this video with you, and then I'm going to share my slides so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But when you're reading our story today, think about the characters, the setting, and the events. That's what we'll be talking about.